Hey guys, Adrian Kidguru here, and today I have a Q&A video with your guys' questions here. So I pulled these questions from recent YouTube comments, Twitter, and yeah, that's pretty much both of them. So you guys can ask questions for future videos by replying me at Kidguru on Twitter and or leaving it down in the comments of this video. I'm going to plan on doing these maybe either weekly or bi-weekly, answering some of your questions ranging on technology to anything really personal. Look forward to that. And in the future, I'm going to be having videos chosen, topics literally out of a hat. So I have video ideas that I threw in here. If you guys have video recommendations that you want to see or whatever ideas for videos, like this one right here, which is this literally Q&A number 1, which is this video, I will literally draw an idea out of the hat every day and shoot a video based on that, or whenever I plan on shooting a video. So yeah, leave your recommendations down below, leave your questions down below for future videos. And with that, let's get started and jump right into the questions that you guys asked via YouTube and Twitter. So number 1 is from Josh Black. I'm going to paraphrase some of this because it's a little bit longer. And basically he went on to say, dude, I thought you were bigger than this. I mean, like, you record with thousands of people watching. I thought you had a bigger fan base. If so, what happened? So this is an interesting one. I get this a lot, and I want to address this because I think it's important for people who are either, new YouTubers or people who have been on YouTube for a while, like myself. You have moments of fluctuation within your audience, and I think YouTube is just really interesting. I've been on it for, like I said, almost 8 years. It's this thing that if you are fortunate enough to build a community, build an audience, and build thousands or millions of people watching, first off, that's like crazy to even comprehend that many people have watched my videos globally. But further, as time goes on, your audience fluctuates, and if you leave or take a break, you become, in a sense, almost irrelevant for a while. There's so many other people who do, technology videos like myself, and there's so many people who do it better and higher quality, and they get all the latest and greatest products, and that fills in a role for other people who will want to watch those videos. And I understand that, and if you don't adapt with the times type thing, then you lose viewers or you lose interest. And that's something, I guess, that totally happened to me because I took time to focus on my companies and my business rather than the YouTube aspect of things. So I did have a big falling out on YouTube. Despite all that, though, my views, like last week, was around 12,000 views for the week overall. A lot of my old videos still get views, and I'm really, happy about that those videos stand the test of time. And 12,000 views a week is nothing to complain about. That's literally, almost 40,000 views a month, and that's a ton of views a year overall. So, at the end of the day, I think that the audience changes, the community changes, and you need to learn to adapt with that. And if not, I'm still, satisfied with the tens of thousands of viewers or hundreds of thousands of viewers that I get a month. And yeah, so I hope that explains things a little bit. All right, moving on to question number 2 from Jamie Kilgore here. He said that, who else noticed the video was uploaded on the 22nd but the video was recorded on the 23rd? So this is something that I see a lot in the comments. People are wondering how that happens, and I think the answer is a lot of people forget that I'm in Japan. I'm based in Japan. All my videos on this channel anyways are shot in Japan. So anytime you see me showing like a phone or anything that shows like a date on it, the reason the date is advanced is obviously because here in Japan we're a day ahead of you guys in the States. I think a majority of my viewers are in the States, the other half being UK and other parts of the world. But for you guys stateside viewers, most of the time you see me upload a video, it looks like I'm a day ahead or the date says I'm a day ahead. It's not because I'm changing anything or some crazy stuff. It's literally because we're a day ahead here because of the time zone. All right, CT Picker 85 asks, what kind of camera do you use for the vlogs? So this is directly towards my vlogs and all of those daily vlogs that you guys see on this channel. I think we're on like 83 right now. I answered this question in the comments, but I want to put this out to all my vlog viewers. I shoot literally with this, my iPhone 5S. My daily phone is my daily camera. I think, that's saying the best camera you have is the one that you have on you, essentially. And this works for me perfectly. It shoots 720p in the front facing. It shoots 1080p in the rear facing camera. I upload all my vlogs in 720p just to save rendering time and all of that because they tend to be, anywhere 7 minutes plus. So yeah, everything is shot on the iPhone 5s and then dropped into Final Cut on the Mac, edited, and yeah, I want to get a digital camera with a wider lens or some lens attachment to get wider angle, so I don't have to worry so much. Like the reason I would shoot in 1080p, but it's kind of hard to shoot yourself like this essentially with the rear facing camera. So in the future, hopefully updating to a digital camera or some sort of handheld camera. All right, so the rest of these questions all stem from Twitter, and obviously these are a lot of random ones, and these Twitter questions actually stem from two of my friends I know personally, so I'm going to answer a couple of these, and the first set of questions is from John, my good friend who used to live here, and I know, and he asked me this barrage of questions on Twitter. So let's start off with it. So number one is, what's your favorite type of cheese? I don't know. I don't have a favorite type. I guess I just go with, I honestly don't know. Cheddar, I guess. I don't really have a preference with cheese, but I guess that would be my favorite. Number two, your favorite potato chip flavor. Barbecue, hands down. And if not barbecue, original is a second runner-up. Number three, your favorite childhood game. That has to be Manhunt. I played it a lot when I was growing up. And like tag in general. Anything that involved running when I was little, I loved those sort of games, like running around. And yeah, Manhunt definitely hands down. Number four, what was a profession you've always admired? This one kind of breaks down into a couple things because I have a different level of like admiration for a lot of jobs. I think on the upper scale, like police officer, fire, those sort of jobs that you literally put yourself in the line of danger voluntarily for your job, I think that deserves a huge amount of admiration. On the opposite end, I've always had an admiration of like the stockbrokers who make ridiculous money because it's such a stress-fueled job, and it's such a a crazy amount of stuff that goes into that, and like the amount of money they can make and they do make on Wall Street. It really is crazy. And I think on the more controversial end, when I was younger, I always wanted to be like involved in politics and was interested in like the president of the United States. I think that's a real big job I admire, not just because like I don't have any like political affiliations, depending on where I lean, I have my opinions, but like that's a job that no matter what you say, you're going to offend somebody and you're going to have people who agree with you, and the decisions you make, like the decisions I make affect me and my company. The decisions that the presidents of the United States make, or any country, literally affects millions and millions of people. And I think any job that has that much weight on it deserves the utmost admiration, whether or not I agree with where they stand politically or not. So yeah, those are kind of the different jobs I admire. Next question: what is something people do too much of today? I think what people do too much of today is they like to, I don't want to use the word complain, but they're afraid to put in the work, and they expect a lot. They expect a lot in life to be given, and I see that a lot on social media, like, over certain things. Like, they think life is this thing where they're served certain things, whether it's like a degree or an education, this, that, or the other, when in reality it's like a buffet. You got to get up and get what you want in life. Last couple questions. If you can go back in time, where would you go? A specific time? Maybe like 60s, 70s, just because I like that old school type of stuff, and just to experience like those type of people who came from that era. But yeah, like maybe 60s and 70s, between those two. Last question he asked here: nicest thing someone has done for you. Now I had to think about this because I don't know directly, like, you have those strangers who do certain acts of kindness throughout your day, and there's small gestures. But I think that's really what it came down to for me. Like those small gestures of people in my life who have, like, people I don't necessarily know that well, who have made it, took time out of their day or went out of their way to like check up on me or whatever, something like that, where they can tell something is wrong. I think that's probably the nicest thing somebody's done for me, because it's completely like irrelevant to what they're doing, and like they don't have to ask me how that stuff is going and ask about me, but they do, and the fact that they do that is generous in itself, I think. All right, so I hope that answers all his questions. Moving on to the last question from my friend Yuri on Twitter. He asked, has music had any impact on your work or motivation? If so, what were some of the songs and the results? So my music taste is just like everything else. It's fluctuating. I have this taste that can go from old classical stuff and jazz all the way up to like really, really ignorant rap music from today. Some stuff that people wouldn't even call music. So if I had to think of it, I think that music having impact on my work, I listen to old and classical stuff, a lot of Miles Davis, if I'm just trying to literally like write without focusing on lyrics and all that stuff going on. I think that helps me out a lot in terms of creativity. But when it comes to other things like just motivational stuff, it really goes down to the ignorant stuff. Like Jay-Z, some of his songs, I remember there was a song, Can I Live, I think it's called. If he says like, if I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. And I don't know why, but when I heard that type of line, like that's something that, I don't know if you could say motivated me, but that's something that sat with me. Like I'd rather die going out and having done everything I wanted to do in life rather than just kind of be comfortable in life. And outside of that, I think one of my favorite, hands down, like hip hop or rap lyrics is like, or I guess not even lyrics, it's like the whole phrase or whole paragraph is from J. Cole's Dollar in a Dream 3. There's like this whole line, and I'm only going to read some of it, and I'm only going to read it. I'm not going to recite it. But he goes on to say, my goal this year is a real one. I'm going to stack $1 million, and as soon as I do, mama, that 9 to 5 is through, and I know I ain't been calling, but I'm thinking about you and all the shit that you've been through. Because this life gets hard on the road, yeah, it's true. I don't tell you how much I be stressing, but I do. And then he goes on to say, but I suck it up for who? My fans and my mans who probably never had this plan of this type of lifestyle in their plans. Paraphrasing that. Anyways, that was a really, like, I don't know, it was just such a good line for me because it was something that I had a goal of when I was younger, and I think it just goes on to show that, like, you can be all of those things that you want in life and still be lacking in other areas that affect you so much more. So all that said and done, these are your guys' answers to your questions you asked. I want to thank everybody who asked questions on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever it was. If you guys have future questions for future Q&As, drop them down in the comments below. @ReplyMe on Twitter. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.